You're listening to Behind the Bulldogs, brought to you by Ferris State Athletics.
Off the left side, to the end zone! Touchdown, Bulldogs!
If I'm even having like a bad day on the course or something, I just look down at it and just feel like thankful that I'm able to be out there.
Making sure that we're like where our feet are and we're not thinking about outside distractions.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to Season 2, Episode 1. We are live on video. Very exciting stuff. It's a new season of Behind the Bulldogs. Myself, Brandon Worth, with a new co-host in the co-hosting chair. Tatum Outlaw will be our co-host here for the rest of the way, and it is very exciting to have you on, Tatum. First of all, welcome, and it's glad to have you.
Thank you.
But for all of the new audience members out, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm super excited to be here. My name is Tatum Outlaw. I am a senior on the volleyball team here. It's my 4th year. I just love sports. My major is public relations, hopefully going into sports media. I'm pretty adamant on that since I've been around sports my whole life. I'm just super excited to be here. I like talking. I like talking about sports. And I'm from Springfield, Illinois. Quite a ways from Ferris, 6 hours from here, but Ferris is my second home. Sometimes my mom calls it my first home because I'm here more than
right
in Springfield. But that's a little bit about me.
Well, it's great to have you with us. We have a great interview for you here today. Hannah Tecumseh, one of your teammates, is joining us here on the show. We'll get to talk with her in just a few minutes. But first of all, we got obviously our Ferris State sports preview here, and we have so much sports on deck this weekend. All the fall sports are in action this weekend, which is very exciting. The first week we've been able to do that. We got volleyball. You guys are the only ones. Unfortunately, you're going to be on the road for a little while here. Yes. You guys don't play at home until October 5th. Is that right?
Yeah, I think sometime around that. I think it is October 5th. We're on the road, on the plane, everywhere.
Literally everywhere across the United States, basically. So, but we'll get into that here later on in the series as well. But we got cross country at home as well as football this Saturday. But before then, we got soccer on Thursday against Cedarville. That'll be a really fun contest to start their season. So really fun stuff. And it's just really good, Tatum. I don't know if you feel this way. I'm sure you do. But it's just great to have all the student athletes back, have all the Bulldog faithful back, the students, the fans, and it's just going to be a great weekend to be a Bulldog.
Yes, I was going to say the same thing. Just having everyone back on campus, the students, the athletes, and I could be biased, but the fall sports are so fun. So I think it's just the best way to start off the school year with all the fall sports going on. So
absolutely. It's going to be great. And you can obviously follow along with us at @behind_Bulldogs for all of your social media with the show, show announcements, all of our great episode drops and more, which will be great. And it's going to be really fun to be able to follow a lot of these teams this year, and especially with the expectations. I know from your inside perspective, you guys have a lot of expectations this year for your volleyball team. Football, obviously, coming off of a loss to Pitt State. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit, but they have very high expectations. Soccer is looking to really build up this year. Cross country the same way. And I think it just really speaks the volumes. If you're a Bulldog sports fan, whether you're listening with us online or over the airwaves back wherever you are, it's just a really cool thing to have a university where all the sports have those high expectations together. There's not a lot of schools that can say that.
Yeah, I agree. It's such a competitive program, and it keeps all the other teams motivated when everyone's just as competitive. And I know I can speak for volleyball. I mean, everyone's returning, and we have some super cool 4 freshmen that come in, and they're blending in so well already. I'm just excited to see how all the fall sports do. I mean, we're all looking pretty good so far.
Absolutely. You guys have looked great in the scrimmages as well as soccer has as well. Only one regular season game to recap, and that was obviously football at Pitt State in week 0. Well-anticipated game, Division II football game of the week. Very exciting. I know you guys actually watched on the team bus on the way home from your scrimmage, which is very exciting. But really, when it comes to the tail of this game, you look at the stat sheet, you look at the final box score. Ferris State offensively just really had some struggles. They just really never got anything clicking and getting some drives together. A couple key turnovers really thwarted a lot of opportunities. But this group will bounce back. We've seen last year they've played some tough teams like Montana last year. Grand Valley, of course, is going to be a team that we're going to have circled on our calendar, because if you're not in Big Rapids and circling a date that has Allendale on the other side, what are you doing?
Right.
So it's going to be really fun to watch this team. And this one result, it was a little bit of a punch in the mouth, I think, to this group. They were really confident. I wouldn't necessarily go to say overconfident, but they're going to bounce back, and I think this is going to start against Lake Erie this weekend.
Yeah, I think we did watch the game. We all pitched in and paid each other for watching the game on the bus. But, I think, obviously it didn't end how we would have hoped, but I think it's just the right amount of fuel to get us through the rest of the season. And I think, you win and you learn. So I think this is a great game to learn from, and it'll just be just what we need to reach our goals. So, yeah,
it'll be very exciting. And you guys are going to be on a very exciting road trip coming up. You're actually leaving tomorrow as we're recording this, and that's going to be a couple of days, a couple of games, as well as pretty much for the next couple of weekends, you guys are going to be taking on some of the best Division II teams in the country. Just talk about your excitement for that trip.
I will say this to everyone I know. I love traveling with my teammates. They're the best people to travel with. I think we have the perfect mix of some quiet time on the bus, and then we'll play games with each other the whole time. But yeah, I'm excited. It's a great group. We've been with mostly the same people each year, and then all the new people that come in, we just love them and they blend in so perfectly. But we've got big goals. We've been working hard since last season ended. We flipped a switch, had our mindset set for this season. We've been eager for season to start just to get at it, play some competitive teams. But yeah, all these teams are super good. Some of them nationally ranked. Not that that matters, but it's always fun to get to play teams that hopefully we'll run into later on in the season. But yeah, we've just got some goals, and it'll be exciting to see all the work that we've put in hopefully come into play this weekend.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun. And with that, of course, we have an interview to get to, and we're going to talk more about that as well as her life outside of the volleyball court. Hannah Tecumseh joining us, one that I know you're really excited to have on.
Yes.
And so it's going to be very exciting. So without further ado, let's swing into the interview. Now joining us here for an exclusive interview, we got Ferris State volleyball player with us. It's only fitting, right, Tatum, that we start with a volleyball player as our first guest. Hannah Tecumseh across the way is joining us. Welcome, Hannah.
Hello. Very happy to be here.
Absolutely. And the first thing that I obviously will start with is you guys both will be heading to West Texas here in about 24 hours as we're recording this, maybe even less. Hopefully you guys sleep well on the plane. But just talk about the preseason and getting practice in and having a new team now to be with here for this upcoming season.
Honestly, really amazing preseason so far. A lot of team bonding, a lot of practices. I'm just so excited to go to Texas. Last time we were in Texas, we were in Dallas, right?
I think so.
And that was so long ago. I'm so excited to finish in Texas. And we're going to have some really great competition down there. It'll be really good for like the regional rankings and whatnot. But I'm really excited. I think the preseason has been really good. We had 4 new freshmen. I think they're like fitting in perfectly. They're really learning a lot. And I think they're really implementing what they're learning. We had scrimmages this past weekend. And it's just like amazing watching their like growth over the past like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a freshman, I was like running around like crazy. Like I didn't understand what any of this meant, but they're doing really, really well. So
yeah, I'll jump in on that. The freshmen have been blending with us so well. I literally was just talking to my mom about this. I was like, yeah, I love freshmen so much. I feel like we've been on this team with them for a whole season already. It's literally only like week 2 or 3. But yeah, we've got a lot of travels coming up. And this group makes it so fun to travel. And we just got back from Europe in May, and it's just the best group to travel with. So, yep, we're in Texas this weekend, and then Alabama the next weekend, and then a couple weekends down the road, we're in the UP. So, yeah.
Yeah, very fun. And especially for you, Hannah, I mean, we'll get Tatum on this too. Very much of a gauntlet your schedule is this year. And Coach Brandon Wilhelm obviously does that on purpose. When it comes to your guys' perspectives as players, what are the number one things that come to your mind knowing you're going to play the best of the best and you're not going to wait until October and even November? It's going to happen in the first week of September.
You know, we do a lot of hard things here. I know that Texas, we don't have our assistant coach, Coach Hannah, because she's expecting a baby.
Which is exciting.
Yeah. I know, it's super exciting. So I think this is like a true test because we're going to be down some people. And I think it's good for our seniors to test like us stepping up and kind of like taking like some sacrifices. Like this might sound so dumb, but like food in Texas, like our team meals, so like we always have our freshmen go first and like the seniors go last. And like since Tia's kind of going to be like running everything, it's going to be hard for us to have like consistent like nutrients. So really like reminding our team on like nutrition and like hydration is going to be a lot. Yeah, I don't know what else I was going to say.
Yeah, respect all, fear none. We just go into every game with that mindset, and the tournaments we do in preseason are competitive tournaments. Like, these are teams that are ranked as well as us nationally. So not that really is me. Like, we're going to go into every game with the same mindset, but these are really good games, and we might run into these teams later on at the end of the season. So we just do the best we can to prepare with the little time we have. I mean, it's games back to back to back. So respect all, fear none. Just be ready, play our hardest every time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm going to kick it over to Tatum, who has a question for Hannah about how she got to Ferris.
Yeah, what was your thought process? What brought you here? What sold it to you? Why Ferris?
So my recruiting journey is so different because it was in like the thick of COVID. I went on a virtual tour. Like,
Whoa.
I never had someone take me on campus and like hold my hand. It was, Tia sent me the link and she was like, here you go, like look around. If you have any questions, like let me know. And I was like, what?
I think mine was a virtual like visit too. I think I committed before I'd ever been on campus. So
yeah, I had a Zoom with like one person from every grade. And I just basically like rambled the entire time because I was like, what is Ferris? What is this? And I had Katie O'Connell, who's like, two-time All-American, and she was like
all the times.
Yes, she was the best to tell me about Ferris State volleyball. I mean, she really sold the program. I'm going to be honest, the virtual tour didn't really do it for me because it's just not even close to like the real thing.
And it's polished pictures. It's looking its best.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so happy I did what I did because I can't imagine like my life any other way. I feel like in another world I didn't like the virtual tour and I didn't like the Zoom, so like in another world I'm like somewhere else, which is crazy. But I am so happy to be here. Like I met like my best friends. Everyone says that. Like everyone on their team, like they're like I found my best friends. But like I went into college with like 15 like built-in friends, thank goodness, because college is hard, especially if you're a student athlete. So I'm just so happy I took the bait because I don't know where I would be without like Ferris State volleyball, honestly.
Yeah, well, since you brought up COVID, you're the last class of the COVID kids. You have that year of eligibility. You're taking your 5th year, your COVID year. What was it like looking back at your first season here during COVID? It was all scrambled up, not how it usually is. Like looking back at that, like how is it different now having like a real season if it's your last year?
It was just so different. Like I remember getting on like a team Zoom and Tia was there, not to put her on blast, but like she was getting emotional because the NCAA tournament was like canceled, and that's like our thing. Like we are pretty common appearances in the NCAA, and she was like kind of getting like emotional that it was canceled. We didn't have one, but we had a GLIAC tournament, and that was already like so different. Like the GLIAC tournament where we appear every year in the finals, we have like all of our fans there, and back in COVID we had like pictures of people, and we really had to make our own energy. It's like I could just say something and everyone in the whole gym would hear it, and it was so weird. And it was like everyone mask was on. It's just not like a quarter of like the season that we like have now is what it was. Like we have preseason, welcome weekend was nothing. I don't know. It was so weird. Like I think it's so overwhelming to have these freshmen now because when I was a freshman, it was so like easy. Like we were so happy that we could lift together as a team. But like right now, that's just like what we do on that everyday thing. But like when I was a freshman, we were like, yes, we get to lift. But that's like something so minuscule.
Normal, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, I'm so happy I got another year of eligibility because that was kind of like bogus. Like I really, as a freshman, I did experience like half the things that these freshmen are experiencing. So I'm like so grateful for it though. I don't take it for granted at all. I'm very blessed for that.
Yeah, for sure. Taking those things for granted that you never thought you would be able to take for granted going back to that COVID year. And as one that was also in the COVID year, it was very weird as far as everything that was in the norm was not normal, which was something that was kind of weird to take on, practicing with masks. Like anybody out there that has ever done that, oh my gosh, it is near impossible. But going to transitioning a little bit here, Hannah, outside of volleyball, obviously every athlete has these things, these hobbies that they like to do, obviously outside of school as well. What are some of those go-tos for you?
Depending on the season. So in the spring, we have a lighter load. That's supposed to be our heavier class load, but we're also supposed to be involved at least 2 clubs for volleyball. So I was in pre-optometry club, which they met like twice a month, I think. And I was like vice president and treasurer for mycology club, which is like the mushroom club on campus. And we have a professor for that. Yeah, so I did a lot of, this is gonna sound so stupid, but like forage for mushrooms like with my club. And we just go around the parks here. And I think that's like one thing I like about Ferris is that when I wasn't doing my club activities or school or volleyball, the nature here is like top tier.
No, there's hidden gems.
Yes, for sure.
Hidden gems like Clay's Cliffs, Hemlock Park, that one like river walk that goes all the way through town, like by Gypsy all the way to like the hospital.
Yes.
Walk that many times. It's just like so fun.
Yeah, she drags me along with her for her nature adventures. She's like, oh, there's this mushroom, and look at this one, and she's saying the name, and I'm like, it's just a mushroom to me.
Yeah. And I feel like I still need my shopping fix, so I always go to Grand Rapids and get like Chick-fil-A or Crumble or something. I'm kind of into those. So.
Of course.
I feel like this is like the perfect place because there's like nature, which I really enjoy, and then just like 45 minutes away is Grand Rapids. I can always get like everything I need for like shopping or like food. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a hidden gem in Big Rapids. People don't know if you haven't visited. There's a lot of great things here, and that's the best part about it. But when it comes to getting ready for a big match, obviously you guys had plenty of those last year, which was fun to cover. You're going to have many of them this year. What are some of the go-tos, especially for you? And then Tatum, you can also piggyback when it comes to preparation for those games. You know, the mentality of practice, you know, in the locker room, getting jazzed up, ready to go, some of those kind of things so that you prepare for those big matches.
I really try to stay away from like superstitions because I don't want to like rely on anything that heavy. But I feel like every athlete, maybe not every athlete, but like I have like a Red Bull. A lot of people like Celsius, but I just like Red Bull. I'll have a Red Bull, big BioFreeze to try and cover like some little sore and achiness. Yeah. Music is like my big thing. Like a lot of Cardi B and like Megan. Like I need those before a game.
Of course.
I'm not as much like a slower. I like really very much like hype up. Like I also like EDM. So music is a huge thing for me before games. And then for games and practices, we do our 10-minute toughness, which basically getting yourself in the right mindset. A lot of visualization, a lot of like repeating of phrases that you identify with. And I don't know, I do a lot of stuff with music when it comes to that type of stuff. I just really enjoy music. Like we have our DJ that does like our pregame stuff, like hitting lines and stuff. And he Emmett does so good. Yeah.
Shout out to Emmett on the show.
Yeah, he does amazing. I never really talked to him, but he should know that he's
the go.
Yeah.
I guess to bounce off of that, Hannah and I would say are definitely one of the bigger energy givers when it comes to like making sure people are having fun. Like we've got different types of people who give different types of energy, and Hannah and I are one of the few that will just make sure everyone's having fun. So we're usually always an aux in the locker room.
Of course.
Just playing like the hype up songs. See everyone just like excited for the game, whether we're playing a great team, a not so great team. We're gonna pregame the same way for it. But yeah, with 10-minute toughness, that's something we got into the habit of doing last spring in January so that we can start getting our mind right for season then. So it's just like part of our everyday routine. We do it before practice. We do it before games, just all the time. And I think it's definitely made a noticeable difference on our team and how we play in games.
Absolutely. When it comes to just being around the team, obviously you guys practice with each other every day. Some of you are fortunate enough to have teammates in the same curriculum. But just talk about that bonding experience, because it seems like every time you guys are out on the floor, every time you're out for pregame, during the game, I mean, it is a tight-knit group, and you guys really have grown a large amount of chemistry with one another, and that starts all the way back in the summer and goes all the way until the postseason.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how to explain this. I think one of the reasons that I feel so close to our team is because coming in, I was like a really bad golden retriever. Like I really didn't like conflict, and I really didn't like having hard conversations. So I think the reason I feel so close to some of my teammates is because I feel so comfortable. I could tell them like if something upsets me, and I think like that's uncomfortable for me. So when I can do that with my teammates, that just shows like how close we are. Like I have no problem telling Tatum like, why did you say that to me? And like not
and she will,
like,
and she has.
Yeah, and it's like not a negative thing. Like I just am genuinely asking, and it's not like offensive or anything. So I just feel like we have such good like team culture where it's like we're just straight up with each other. Like we're not going to be like, oh my God, Tatum said that to me. That's so rude. But and like in reality, I'm going up to her and be like, hey, why'd you say that to me? Like, it's
Right.
not like, and it's so not like a, she said this and like talking about stuff. It's so like real. I don't know how to explain. I just feel like that's why I feel so close to people, because I don't feel uncomfortable talking to them about hard things. And that used to be a super hard thing for me to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I feel close in that aspect, but I just have fun with all of them. They're all just so easy to talk to and just like have fun. Like none of them are like you can just take your armor off with basically anyone on our team. You don't have to put up anything, like, you know, it's like a judgment-free zone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so like raw.
Yeah, we pride ourselves in how much effort we put into our culture, because we spend a lot of time doing that. Obviously, a lot of time on the court working on our game, but culture is a huge aspect of it. I mean, volleyball is a sport where you have to rely on your teammates to be successful. So if you're not comfortable with them and if you don't have this strong bond with them, it's going to be hard to rely on each other. But yeah, Hannah said it perfectly. Great culture isn't just shiny and polished, and it contains conflict, and that's what makes a culture so great. And we argue like sisters, but we can be straight up with each other, and that's what makes us even closer. Because if we were beating around the bush and didn't communicate with each other when something bothered us, that wouldn't be a good culture. That would just be like a sewing circle. And we're like a family, so we can talk to each other about things when it bothers us, but we also love each other so much. So I think that's what makes us great.
Absolutely. Hannah, thank you for joining us. We have the final question, the golden question everybody gets asked. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here it is. What is your favorite thing about being a Ferris State Bulldog?
Favorite thing about being a Ferris State Bulldog? Oh my gosh, I have so many answers to that. Like, I like how close the community is. Like, Big Rapids is Ferris and Ferris is Big Rapids.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, like, our program is just so good. Like, we have so many, like, successful programs, and that just speaks so much about, like, Ferris. And just the volleyball team and the culture, I would not be the person I am today without it. I would be, like, a turtle. I'd just be in my shell. So, I don't know. I would say a combination of those three. And professors, the school's awesome. You know, we're going to be leaving for a long time. Our professors are super nice, and they'll give us everything we need. So, up to the school, athletics, community, all of it. I love all of it, honestly.
Absolutely. I can't imagine Hannah Tecumseh being a turtle. That's something I could have never thought about. So.
That's what I'm saying. I told you, I would not be like who I am without Ferris State Volleyball. That sounds so cheesy, but I'm being serious. Like, I was such a like golden retriever. If you guys don't know what that means, like search up golden retrievers, otters, beavers, all that.
She is the golden retriever.
Like, I would be scared all the time.
Yeah. Absolutely. So there you go. An exclusive interview with the golden retriever of Ferris State Volleyball, Hannah Tecumseh. Thank you so much for joining us, Hannah.
All right, bye Tatum, bye Brandon. Ow.
We'll see ya. Big thanks to Hannah Tecumseh for joining us here on the show. What a great interview, Tatum. I know that you wanted to bring her on for a purpose. You know that she would do great at this. Was there anything that stood out to you as far as answers? You're like, oh, I didn't even know that about her.
Yeah, I think she was just the best, perfect guest to have on. I think it was cool to see a little bit more of her personality. I mean, we know she's killer on the court, but we didn't know how much she loves mushrooms.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and how she considers herself as a turtle and a golden retriever.
At the same time.
Interesting mix. I agree, though. She's very much both of those. But, yeah, she was just the best to have on.
Yeah, she could work at the John Ball Zoo, basically, by the end of this. So, but thanks to Hannah for joining us. We can't wait to bring you guys more interviews. Before you go, we'll hit you with the Ferris State Sports Slate upcoming. Thursday the 5th, women's soccer will be taking on Cedarville. That's going to be a 1 o'clock game at home over at the soccer complex. So head on over there. As well as you guys will be wheels up on Wednesday for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday against West Texas A&M on Thursday. That's a night game, right? 7 o'clock, I believe, on the schedule. And then you're going to be playing International at 4 o'clock on Friday. And then West Virginia State on Saturday at 10 o'clock. They're from Texas. So good luck to you guys.
Yes,
Can't wait to see the results there. We also have women's and men's cross country in town over at Khaki Golf Course for the Ray Helsing Bulldog Invitational. You'll probably see me over there. So go stop over and stay hi. And we can't wait to see all these runners. I believe 9:30 for the women's and then 10 o'clock for the men's in the 5K and the 8K respectively there at Khaki Golf Course. And then we also have football that evening at 6 o'clock at Top Taggart, the home opener under the lights. It's going to be incredible. It always is. And then we also have some more games on the road. Sunday, women's soccer at Indianapolis. That is a 1 o'clock kickoff there. And then we also have golf and tennis in some fall action as well, which is fun. So the Ladies Midwest Collegiate Tournament, I believe, or Invitational, will be on Monday the 9th and Tuesday the 10th. So good luck to Coach Stark and that team, as well as tennis will be at Davenport for a little Invitational in the fall. So, I mean, we are off and running here in the fall, Tatum. This is a crazy ride, and we can't wait to be a part of it.
Yeah, we're starting off hot. I think it's going to be a great weekend for the fall sports, playing new teams and just getting started. Yeah, I'm excited.
It's going to be fun. That's episode 1. We have made it through Behind the Bulldogs. Big thanks to you guys for tuning in. You can find this on YouTube as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Big thanks to Dazos Digital as a sponsor of this podcast. And big thanks to Tatum for stepping in the chair with us here for the next upcoming future. It's going to be fun to have you.
Yes, I'm excited to be here, and I can't wait to see everyone next week.
Absolutely. So until next time, take care, everybody.